Hello, dear students. Welcome back. This is your Joseline, sir. Today, I am going to present a very interesting, in fact, beautiful topic written by Nobel laureate Sir CV Raman. And the name of the topic is The Elixir of Life. So I have chosen a very beautiful quote before I thought I begin the lesson. See, the thought is thousands have lived without love, not even one without water. Do you agree? Thousands have lived means many people have lived without love. Not even one has lived without water. This quote is enough to say how important water is to every living thing. Maybe it is a human being or plants or animals. Am I right? Yes. We can live without love, affection, company, but you cannot. Nobody can live without water. So this essay, which is written by Sir CV Raman, informs, describes, motivates, and create awareness about water. Water is the basis of all life, and CV Raman explains it very clearly how water is the basis of all life. In this essay, we are going to study the importance of water, how water, the flowing water causes soil erosion, and also as the lesson progresses, Sir CV Raman comes out with suggestions to avoid soil erosion. So before going to the lesson, let us know in brief who CV Raman is. Sir CV Raman. Sir is the title conferred on him by British East India Company. Okay. So his actual name is Chandrasekhara Venkat Raman. Okay. CV Raman's actual name is Chandrasekhara Venkat Raman. He was born on 7th November 1888 in Tiruchirappalli. Today it is known as Trichy. Okay. His parents Chandrasekhara Ramanathan Iyer and mother Parvati Amma. He was born to Chandrasekhar and Parvati. And as you know, he is a Nobel laureate. He is the first non-white or Asian to win a Nobel Prize in Science. And you know very well that he won Nobel Prize for Raman effect, scattering of light. In the year 1930, he was awarded Nobel Prize for scattering of light, which is also called Raman scattering or Raman effect. And he also received the highest civilian award of India, that is Bharat Ratna India 1954. Before getting these two, he was already the fellow of the Royal Society of London. I think still he has received many honors. And I have not mentioned them here. He has received many honors. These three honors are just enough to say the greatness of Sir CV Raman. Right? Okay? The greatness of CV Raman can be known through these three awards because Bharat Ratna is the highest civilian award given in India. Nobel Prize, I think you know very well, highest prize given in the world for the contributions in the field of science. I think you know very well. So, his son, Venkataraman Radhakrishnan, was also a scientist. And his student, Chandrasekhar, also received Nobel Prize. So, throughout his life, CV Raman has made many contributions to science as well as to common people. He has written many good essays to motivate people to follow proper lifestyle. Especially this essay, The Elixir of Life, motivates the people to harness water. What do you mean by harness? Harness means collect or preserve and then use. We always, say there is no water. Today water has not come. Because of no rain, no water. But have you ever thought of collecting this water before asking before saying there is no water? Yes, dear students. Author CV Raman is informing us to harness water. Harness means first preserve and then utilize. We think of only utilizing water. We say today municipal water has not come. There is no water in the dam. Why? Because we are not collecting it. Author says first collect the water and then use this collected water. This is called harnessing. Okay, and also as the lesson progresses, you'll also see how this water causes, the flowing water causes soil erosion. Okay, fine children, shall we start? Man has through the ages sought in vain for an imaginary elixir of life, the divine Amrita, to confer immortality. But the true elixir of life lies near to our hands, for it is the commonest of all liquids, plain water. In the very first paragraph, author completes the purpose of his essay. Author gives the purpose of his essay. He says, water is the elixir of life, the real elixir of life. You know what is elixir? Elixir means divine Amrita. Elixir means divine Amrita. Nobody has seen it, but people believe that if they drink a little bit of Amrita, they can remain immortal. No death, they can live forever. Nobody has seen it. That's why author calls it imaginary elixir. He says divine Amrita is imaginary. Nobody has seen it. It is a belief. But author says it is not the real elixir. The real elixir is not divine Amrita. It is plain water which we see before us. Author calls water elixir. But man has been trying to seek, find this imaginary elixir to confer immortality, to remain immortal. Immortal means no death, living forever. You can live forever if you drink Amrita, but nobody has seen it. Even I have not seen it. That's why author calls it imaginary. Only an imaginary elixir, that is. The real elixir of life is water. Without water you cannot live. So author calls water the real elixir of life. I remember one day standing on the line which separates the Libyan desert from the valley of the Nile in Egypt. On one side was visible a sea of billowing sand without a speck of green or a single living thing anywhere visible on it, while on the other side lay one of the greenest, most fertile and densely populated areas to be found anywhere on the earth, teeming with life and vegetation. What made this wonderful difference? Why? It is the water of the river Nile flowing down to the Mediterranean from its sources a couple of thousands of miles away. In the second paragraph, author lays emphasis on the concept that water is the real elixir of life. Author says, one day he was standing in a line, in a place, from where on one side he could see Libyan desert. Remember, Libyan desert is a part of Sahara desert. Sahara is the world's the largest desert in the world, Sahara. Okay, Libyan desert is a part of it. On one side he could see Libyan desert where there was no speck of vegetation. Speck means a dot. He could see billowing sand. Billowing means spread over a large area. He could find only, sand everywhere. Billowing sand. only sand spread everywhere like water in the sea. That's why he calls it billowing sand. On one side, there is no speck, not even a single dot of green was visible anywhere in the Libyan desert. There's no life at all. Not a single dot of green means no vegetation and no life. Whereas on the other side, he could see a valley in Egypt, and this valley is created by the river Nile. You know very well, river Nile is the longest river in the world, which travels around 6,650 kilometers. In fact, more than this. Okay, and it flows through 11 countries: Rwanda, Burundi, Egypt, Tanzania, Nigeria, Ethiopia. Okay, so river Nile flows through 11 countries. It provides water to 11 countries. And you know very well, Egypt is formed by this river Nile. That's why, Egypt is called the gift of river Nile. You know very well, you might have studied in the previous classes. River Nile originates in Burundi, in Africa, and it ends its journey in Mediterranean Sea. Okay, it originates here, ends here. Okay, so before it ends its journey, it travels through 11 countries. Okay, and all along its banks, this river has created many beautiful valleys. Valleys rich in alluvial soil. Okay, all the valleys created by this river is fertile and densely populated, and agriculture is the main occupation even now. Author says one day he was standing in an area from where on one side he could see Libyan desert, on the other side a valley in Egypt created by river Nile, and this valley is full of life and vegetation. He uses a word, teeming with life and vegetation. Teem means full of. Teem means full of. On one side in the Libyan desert there is no vegetation at all, not even a single dot of vegetation is seen everywhere, whereas here in the valley of Egypt it is full of life and vegetation. Why this difference? Author is asking us, why this difference? And he only clarifies that it is because of river Nile. So dear students, in the second paragraph we come to know that the availability of water can make a tremendous difference. Libyan desert has no life because there is no water. And the valley in Egypt is full of life, densely populated, and there is a lot of vegetation because river Nile provides water. So the availability of water can make a tremendous difference in the drama of our life. That is what Sir CV Raman tries to tell us. Geologists tell us that the entire soil of the Nile Valley is the creation of the river itself. It was brought down as the finest silt in its flood waters from the islands of Abyssinia and from remote Central Africa, and led down through the ages in the trough through which the Nile flows into the sea. Egypt, in fact, was made by its river. Its ancient civilization was created and is sustained by the life-giving waters which come down year after year with unfailing regularity. I made it very clear that Egypt is the gift of river Nile. Egypt is formed by the Nile, and geologists also tell the same thing. Okay, Egypt and other valleys along the bank of this Nile river have been created by this Nile, the river itself. And author says it was brought down as the finest silt in its flood waters. Every year when it rains heavily, this river, the world's longest river Nile, floods, and this flood water carries alluvial soil along with it when it travels from places like Abyssinia and Central Africa. When this river flows through Central Africa and Abyssinia and other parts, it carries alluvial soil, and this alluvial soil have been deposited all along its banks. As a result, so many valleys, fertile valleys have been created. And these valleys, believe me, is full of life and vegetation. That's what author says. Egypt and many other valleys are created by the Nile itself. Even geologists also say this. Got it? And author says this river Nile provides water to all its valleys. Remember, Egypt has created many valleys, all in these 11 countries, and all the 12 months, 365 days, river Nile provides water. As a result, many civilizations have existed in Egypt. From times immemorial, many people, many civilizations have existed in Egypt, and even now people are living. It is densely populated because of just one river Nile. So once again, author lays emphasis on the fact that water is extremely important for life. Where there is water, there is life. Without water, there is no life. Right? I give this example and could give many others to emphasize that this common substance which we take for granted in our everyday life is the most potent and the most wonderful thing on the face of our earth. It has played a role of vast significance in shaping the course of the earth's history and continues to play the leading role in the drama of life on the surface of our planet. I made it very clear. If there is life anywhere, it is just because of water. Without water, you cannot imagine life. The drama of life continues because of water. If there is no water, there is no life. Author says, I can give this example of Egypt. Okay, he says, one day he was standing in a place from where he could see Libyan desert and a valley in Egypt. This land, the valley in Egypt is extremely fertile and densely populated. He says, I can give such thousands and thousands of examples which are, of such places which are extremely fertile and densely populated only because of water. He says, I can give such many, examples where water has played a prominent role in the existence of life and vegetation. So author says, water is the most potent. Potent means powerful. Okay, author says, see, potent means powerful. Author says water is the most potent and most powerful. Potent because it has created many fertile valleys. Water, flowing water, flooding waters have created many fertile valleys. And water is important for life. That's what author calls it. Potent, very powerful, at the same time very wonderful thing on the face of our earth. And without water, life is unimaginable. That's it. Author makes it very clear in the first 4 paragraphs that water is extremely important for the existence of life. It is very potent, it's very powerful because it brings silt and deposits. As a result, many beautiful valleys are formed. Such valleys which are extremely fertile, which is full of life and vegetation. That's why author in the 4th paragraph says water is the most potent and the most wonderful thing on the face of the earth. Without water, life is unimaginable, dear students. I hope you might have understood how important the water is, what difference availability of water can make. And I think you would have understood that water is the basis of all life. This flowing water creates fertile valleys. In the coming paragraphs, we are going to learn more about this water. This water is extremely important for agriculture. At the same time, this flowing water can also erode the soil. Okay, so in the next paragraphs, we will learn in detail the benefits as well as the demerits of flowing water. I am going to end part 1. We'll soon meet in the part 2. We shall discuss more about We shall discuss more about this essay. Let us know what CV Raman speaks about flowing water.